What's up guys, Kara Corey here. Welcome back for another awesome recipe video. Before we get started in that, just want to draw your attention to these badass MTS sludge bowls that just came out and are available at tigerfitness.com. Very easy to throw in your gym bag and then you just pop them open. You can have your sludge on the go, which we all need. So make sure you guys check those out. For today's recipe, I'm gonna make for you guys a super tasty little treat. This is gonna be a great variation of your boring breakfast oatmeal, or it can be thrown in there as a little sweet treat. But we're gonna make a protein carrot cake. I've done variations of this before, but this one's gonna be a little bit different because I'm gonna make it into like a little individualized loaf cake. So instead of baking up a whole cake and worrying about it going bad or having to freeze it, we're just gonna make a perfect portion carrot cake. So this is gonna be baked in the oven, which is why I'm using this little tin I just picked up at the grocery store. But if you wanna nuke it in the microwave, you guys can do that. Just make sure you use a microwavable safe dish of some sort. To get started, we are just going to take our bowl and put all our ingredients in there. And for dry ingredients, we're gonna start there first. Today I'm using the MTS Isolate and Vanilla Ice Cream. I love this one for baking because it just cooks very well with anything that you guys are cooking. We are gonna do a half scoop of that so that it gives us a great amount of protein and it adds in a nice vanilla flavor, which works perfect with this cake. For flour, you guys can do different things here. I'm gonna be using some whole wheat flour, and I'm gonna be doing a half a cup of whole wheat flour, but I've also got in there, actually I did a fourth of a cup of whole wheat flour and then a fourth a cup of some quick oats that I had laying around. So it'll just add in an oaty texture, but you could just use straight up flour or you could use all oats. Doesn't matter what kind you guys use here, although I do not suggest only using coconut flour. You have to be careful when you bake with coconut flour because it does get a different texture to it. So if you're using coconut flour, throw something else in there with it. That's gonna be our flour, our protein. Next, for sweetness, I'm gonna do 1 full tablespoon of this Splenda brown sugar. Just really like the way this stuff sweetens up baked goods. But again, you could use stevia or something of that nature as well. Now we are going to add in a little bit of salt. I never measure salt, but we add a little because we're supposed to. It helps with the flavor when we bake stuff. And then I'm gonna add in some ground cinnamon. And again, I'm not gonna measure that because I don't feel it's that important. I'm just gonna sprinkle a crap ton in there. Let's mix this up and get all our dry ingredients mixed in there before we go on to the rest of the ingredients. Next ingredient we're gonna add is going to be unsweetened applesauce. Great to have on hand for baking because we're not really adding any fat to this recipe. So the applesauce is gonna help kind of keep it moist and not dry, the opposite of moist. So we're gonna add in 4 ounces of unsweetened applesauce. And then because this is gonna be a carrot cake, I went ahead and shredded up some carrots. This is a half a cup of shredded carrots. If you're feeling lazy, you could also do canned carrots. That works just as good. And to add a little zip to it, if you will, I have gone ahead and zested a lemon. It smells so good, and lemon actually does really taste nice with carrots. So I've got about a teaspoon here of zested lemon. I'm gonna throw that in the mix as well. And then our last ingredient is gonna be milk. So before we add in the milk, I'm just going to, again, stir this all together to see where our consistency is at. And then we're gonna go ahead and slowly add in the milk. So this is why I suggest going ahead and mixing things up in steps, because consistency-wise, you wanna see where things are at. You can always just add a little, but you can't take away if you add too much when it comes to your liquid. So this is already a nice thick consistency, but I do wanna add just a little bit of milk. So I'm gonna add a tablespoon of unsweetened cashew milk and mix that up. I think that's gonna do it, but let's see. You guys might choose to vary your ingredients. You might wanna have a bigger portion than me. You might wanna add more protein, more oats. That's totally fine. So just take it step by step until you get that perfect oatmeal consistency. That looks really good. So we're gonna go ahead and dump this in our little tin, which I did spray with a little Pam spray. I'm gonna bake this in the oven, not super long, because I want it to still kind of have that like ooey gooey inside to it. that I want it to bake a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 5 to 6 minutes and see what we're working with. All right guys, my carrot cake is all done cooking. I went ahead and cooked it for about 13 minutes or so, which was the perfect timing because it ended up having that like nice cooked outside. It's not overcooked, and then the inside is still nice and warm and gooey. I suggest letting it sit out for at least 5 minutes before you dig in, just so all the flavors kind of kick into it. But you can easily add some toppings to this if you want to go a little bit extra. You can make up a little protein cream cheese frosting also using your MTS way, or you could just spread a little like flavored Greek yogurt on top if you want that little extra flavor to it. But this is a super easy meal to whip up. It gives you a nice variation from your plain boring oatmeal. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. If you do, don't forget to post it on Instagram and tag your girl, Cara Corey Fit Life, and I will see you guys in the next video.